Hello ladies and gents, welcome to a new Night POV review. In front of us is the new Peugeot 3008. This is actually E3008. It's the electric version, top trim, GT trim. Now if we unlock the car, you can see the new beautiful LED headlights. They have a little dance. These are actually pixel lights with matrix capability. That's a different word for that. They didn't want to pay maybe for the matrix name. These are also LED fog lights. They have cornering capability as well. We're going to check the performance outside the city at night in this video. Now, GT trim is the top trim. We have obsessed blue color. That's the name of the color. It kind of shifts from blue to green tone. It's like a chameleon. You can see the beautiful profile of the car if I unlock it once again. We're sitting on 19-inch alloys. These are big, but suspension is nice and comfy. They came on Michelin Cross Climate tires. That's interesting. These are also rated for winter. And we have here standard range model with 73 kilowatt-hour battery. This is the front-wheel drive. Electric motor on the front has 210 horsepower. There will be available long-range version with front-wheel drive with 98 kilowatt-hour battery and all-wheel drive version which gets a rear electric motor with 110 horsepower combining to, if I'm not mistaken, 320 horsepower. AC charges 11 kilowatts. You can option a 22 kilowatt onboard charger. I would advise that if you have the larger battery, and DC is 160 kilowatts max. Now this standard range has by VLTP 525 kilometers of range. In real world it's more like 350, 400 on highway. Maybe in an open road you can get 500. I think I've mentioned all the technical details. Let's move to the back of the car. Now, by the way, I have a new action camera, Insta360 Ace Pro. It has a larger sensor, so it should allow for a better picture at night. It brings in more light. And I'm using my external RODE mic for the first time, so you should also have a better audio. Let's unlock the car from the rear. You can see also the taillight dance. We have nice LED taillights. And if we hold the button, we can unlock the cargo space or the boot space. 520 liters of cargo space, 1,480 if you knock down the seats. I'm going to use the key fob. I'm going to keep the key fob in my pocket. I like the boot space. It's not too loud when it closes. Now, great closing sound. Seatbelt on. So this car has an excellent soundproof. I believe you watched the day point of view driving. Now I press the brake. I need to press in the button, but I need to hold it in for a second or two. So it's not just like short press. Now just to demonstrate here, we do have a wireless charger. I can put my phone there. And you can see green light when it's charging, but it's already charged, so I'm just going to keep it in my pocket. Now, let me just adjust the AC here now. If I tap on the AC, you have the classical menu. I'm going to sync both the driver and the passenger. Let me just lower the no. Okay, I'm going to leave it at the soft setting here so it's not too loud. I'm just going to steer it to the other side so it's not blowing to me. And the new screen is in reach of the hand, but you have the shortcuts at the bottom as well. Now let me just turn on the touch lights so you can see the interior a little bit better. Now we do have a glove compartment that has illumination. We do also have a illuminated armrest, which also has nice cold storage. Okay, let's show you the Apple CarPlay. Now it works nice and fast. There are some apps I would suggest if you're buying an EV plug share and perhaps a better route planner. Now, we're going to stick to the embedded navigation. Now, the embedded navigation, the whole system is now finally fast and fluid. You have over-the-air updates. There's weather information. You have the charging stations here, so you can search for a charging station if you need that. So the trip computer has also estimated range and so on. You can see which are closed. These are maybe dealers, but they're not working 24 hours, and which are open. But yeah, that's that. And to demonstrate, we have the new Peugeot voice assistant. So let's say I want to change the temperature to 21 degrees. There you go. So that works pretty nice in English. For the moment, it doesn't work in Croatian if you are from my home country. Now, we are in Croatia, but I'm talking in English. This channel is English-based. New EU regulations recognize the speed limit, and they always need to warn you when the speed limit changes. So here, you can go excessive speed warning, confirm off. So every time you need to disable it, it will reset. Another thing I just found out that I didn't include in the review, there's a descent control here. Look at this. So on the driving modes, and then you have the like dust, mud, and snow, which is pretty cool. I didn't know that. We're not going to use eco. You should use that if you're like really low on charge and you don't think you're going to make it. It reduces the thermal comfort. Pops the message right there. There's sport. Sport is going to give you more feedback on the steering wheel, and is going to change the ambient lights. You can change those and tie them to the driving modes. When you press here or on the shortcut, the navigation goes to full screen. This will go away when we start driving, but I'm pretty sure you saw that when I demonstrated in the day review. Excuse me, day driving. My consumption test, I already did one. Was 19 the lowest. My last is 20. I think on the drive I was like 21, 22 on the day driving. And here you can change the view. So this is the default view. You can press here the left stalk. You can have the navigation. You can have the energy flow. You can have radio shortcut, map shortcut, and the classical one. Before we head out, a little music demo. We have focal speakers, excellent sound. I have to keep talking not to get a copyright strike. I think you know the drill if you are a regular subscriber. Okay, we're gonna mute that. Yeah, great infotainment, great new upgrades. Let me switch to reverse. We have a HD cameras, the mirrors dip down, both of them. You have the projections of the steering wheel, and you can change views. It warns you if there's, cross traffic in your blind spot, and so on. Okay, let's head out. This new position, I always thinking is here. I just can't get used to it. Maybe it takes a little bit time. We're at 66. Excuse me. We are at 66% of range, 280 kilometers on this display from the BMS, or the battery management system. When I've charged it to 95%, you saw in the review it was like 505 kilometers or so. But I've mentioned like how much you can expect real range. Now, I'm in the, I believe, yeah, you can see by the ambient lights, in the normal driving mode, just to disable the descent control. Don't need it. So in the sport mode, I guess you unlock the full 210 horsepower, and this one's like slightly reduced in the normal, and even less power in the eco. Yeah, one thing on the traffic light, this area is a blind spot, but I'm missing a true one pedal driving. Now there is recuperation in this car, but it doesn't stop fully. You need to press the brake in order to stop. So when you let go of the acceleration pedal, it doesn't slow down and stop like Tesla or Volvo. You need to press the brakes, and then if you let go of the brake, the car goes forward, unlike, again, Tesla and Volvo, for example. So that's full one pedal driving. This is not. This has automatic recuperation. So when I let go, it does slow down. By the way, this is a harder speed bump, still nice and comfy with 19-inch alloys. But I can feel some of these potholes and manholes, but nice and soft. Now, I can change the recuperation. I can lower it, and then the car kind of goes easier forward and kind of coasts a little bit, and then I can control the slow down or the braking with the increased recuperation. The car memorizes your set recuperation, so it does not reset to like the lowest, but the lowest recuperation is default. You cannot turn off the recuperation completely off, although I don't think there is an EV that allows that in general. Now, the 210 horsepower for this SUV feels well enough. It speeds up nicely. It just drives nice and smooth. It's like knife through butter with like little resistance, and it's such a pleasant driving experience. The cabin is nicely isolated. It has a good soundproof, and it's just a joy to drive this thing. That's why I'm glad I got this instead of the hybrid, the plug-in hybrid. Although it's not bad, you can also drive electric, but this has a greater EV autonomy. There will be, of course, also the mild hybrid for those of you who are skeptic towards electric vehicles. And then again, if you are buying the plug-in hybrid or the electric vehicle, you need to have a garage or at least a charging station at work, because otherwise it will make too much economical sense. Now you can see the car just picks up easily, so it works great. The new display here is amazing. You can see maps. You can see the energy flow. Oh, this is closed, so let me just change lane. I think there's some constructions on the railway that started yesterday. Yes, I was mentioning, you can see the beautiful animation here when we're using power from the battery right now. Blue juice, and it's nice and fast, so I think this maybe has 120 hertz refresh rate. And then you can see when we are letting go, recuperating, we're feeding the battery with juice back. Again, this is close to one pedal driving because recuperation allows you to slow down. You are saving your brake life, so that is great. And you have a better control of the car. Now, the steering is, fairly precise. It's gentle. In the sport mode, it's more precise. It gives you more feedback and resistance. And this car, since it's so heavy because of the battery and low center of gravity, it's very confident in the bends. If you go harder, it doesn't lean too much, and it's just like on rails. So great driving experience. Now, I was mentioning that you have to hold the brake. Unfortunately, there is no auto hold either, so I have to keep holding the brake, or I can engage the electronic parking brake, but it's just not nice that I always have to think about it, press it, so I just keep my foot on the brake. So it would be nice if they added auto hold. See, when I release, the car starts going forward really gently, but I have to accelerate. So that's that. I've mentioned recuperation here. Now, if we go back to application driver, home. Let me just swipe here. So this, now we have to turn here. If you go to history, I believe, no, usage. Yeah, you can see here the amount of power you've recuperated. So that is also nice. Now, sharp eyes might notice one thing, and that is that this windshield has a heater, and you can probably, if you look at the traffic light right now, see like an X because of the little heaters you can see inside. I'm not a huge fan of that solution. There are heated windshields without those heaters, which you cannot see them. They're like on the edges or something, and they combine AC. So not a huge fan of this. This is part of the winter package. This car has the pan roof and the new driving aid. That's an option. The options are, I think, 4,800 euros, so almost 5,000 euros. This test car costs 57,000. I'm gonna put the technical details and the prices in the video description, but yeah, that's a lot. Now it starts at 53,000 for this GT trim. If you go for the Allure, you are, I think, under 50,000. And like the hybrid costs, the mild hybrid costs 35, which is a very competitive price. But in the Allure trim, unfortunately, they wanted to lure you to the GT trim. They don't have this beautiful display that looks like one piece. These are actually two displays, but there's no bezel between them. But in the Allure, you have the bezel and you don't get this bottom display, unfortunately. But the rest is pretty much standard and it's well equipped. Now, interior comfort is really good. The seats are nice and comfy. You have the ventilated seats, heated steering wheel, and lots of good stuff. Although, if a tall person is sitting on the front, there's not really too much room on the back. You will have to go for the 5008 if you want a little bit more room on the back seat. I just hit a deeper manhole and I felt it, but still comfortable. It didn't like bang the whole car and it didn't feel it that hard. Now let me see our no, not this, I'm pressing the wrong button. So our power consumption is 20. Okay, I'm not going to reset it. This one's like the current one. But again, I did a test run and it was like 19, the lowest. Now, considering that, there is some competition that has very similar power consumption. Now, for this large SUV, this is not that bad, but it is like in the VLTP range. But for example, the Tesla Model Y easily has 16 kilowatts of power, power consumption. So this is slightly thirsty, but I think still with this large battery, it can do good enough range. So it shouldn't be a problem. Now I usually start driving and filming a little bit late, but it's a nice warmer day and after a few really cold days, and there's still a lot of traffic, so okay, we'll manage. Now, if I reduce the recuperation, the car coasts, and then I can increase it. It's slowing down, and then increasing it a little bit more just slows down enough. So you can play with that. Now, we're getting close to the highway, and we will switch to sport mode. We will check out the performance of the LED headlights. Now, let me hit this one. Okay, nice and soft. This one's really deep. I don't want to damage the alloy. I mean, never happened, but that was one The last one was a bit deeper, but still very good suspension that we used into Peugeot. Recuperating back into the battery. Again, nice and stable if we go a little bit faster. Now let's switch to the sport mode. So instantly I feel like the car just jumps a little bit and I have more power. The automatic long beam is on. Flooring it. But this guy's a dick. Didn't want to let me pass or join in. Oops, I did flash him, but that was not intentional. I've used the turn signal and I just flashed him. There was an 80 here because the guardrail was damaged. So for a moment it still memorized it. Now this is freshly painted road markings, but the LED headlights look amazing. I'm going to slow down to 100 kilometers per hour. Now there's a smooth patch right now, and there's a rough one. So you can hear the tire noise a little bit and wind noise, but when we speed up there's more wind noise because it's a nice big SUV. I'm gonna floor it one more time. Easily picks up speed. $130. Drop back to the normal. Still good on the throttle or acceleration. Now this is the part where there is no street lights, so we can see the long beam. Yeah, we can see the matrix now working. It's turning off segments, not to blind the other drivers. You can see that in action. So no one's flashing back, so we're not blinding anyone. Now let me show you the new assistant. So press twice. Press twice and then OK. Now you can see the long beam. Now this keeps you in the lane, but look at this. If I go to the edge, it doesn't pass the edge, but it doesn't pull me back to the center right away. It just like gently starts moving me to the center and then keeps me in the center. So this is the new 2.0 pilot. You can see that the lights went off for the semi or the truck, lorry, whatever you call it in your part of the world. And now it's also full beam back on. You can see it's switching off, not to blind other drivers. So excellent. I think this should be standard in all cars if you ask me. Let's see what's our power consumption currently. 1920 kilowatts on the highway. But still okay, I'd say. And again, I can hear mostly tires on the highway. When I speed up on a higher speed, like 130 or more, then there's a little bit more wind. But that's just fine. Still great comfort and overall experience in the car. Now see, I'm braking a lot, but I can ease off on the recuperation, let the car coast. And then when I need to slow down a little bit, I just increase the recuperation. So if you want to speed up faster, you just minimize the recuperation as well. So that way you're having less resistance when you want to speed up faster. When I speed up on the highway, I forgot to actually lower the recuperation for that. Now the brakes are good, not too aggressive, but good. And I mentioned there's no auto hold, but there's maybe one con on this car I wish that wasn't like that. And this is when you stomp the brake, you hear this. So yeah, the car really feels, because this is first time focused to be for a platform that's both for electric and hybrid setups, although the hybrid includes petrol, still feels like a little bit like a classical car. And this is something I don't want to feel, but this might have been the suspension when I've stomped on the brake. That's like the only perhaps bigger con on this big expensive SUV, at least when we're talking about the electric version, which is the most expensive. Now we will get to the part where there's no street lights to also check out the LED headlights performance and the performance of my new action camera. But also we will do 0 to 100 launch. There is no launch control, but because it's an EV, I think 0 to 100 kilometers per hour is in 8.5 seconds, which is not something super impressive, but it's quite good for a large SUV. Now I will ease down on the recuperation once we stop and switch to sport mode. But also I gotta make sure there's no traffic behind me or in front of me for safety, of course. Floor the acceleration and release the brake. Also gonna check the brakes since we passed the 100. And we can see emergency hazards turned on. That's a nice feature. The brakes are good and it's a very decent acceleration. So back to the normal. Okay. Now turn back to recuperation. I like to use the recuperation to slow down. Now yesterday was full moon. Today I think it's gone, but still you can see a lot. Now long beam and really good performance on the headlights. Now just an old habit, I'm gonna take my iPhone 15 Pro out and just compare the video. So there we go. That's the long beam on the iPhone. Now let's speed up. So watch the beam spread. Just past 50 and it spreads, and then if I slow down it shrinks. So that looks beautiful. I don't have that on my Tesla. I do have the Matrix, but it doesn't have this whoosh thing. It's like Noah spreading the sea. And watch the corner. We have cornering fog lights. So that's that. Or wait, are these cornering or are they just, yeah, they're cornering. I thought they were like, there are some lights that turn in the bends, like the Lincoln Co. I tested recently, but I also have that feature on my Tesla. Okay. Now let's use the voice assistant and see if we can find the garage I want to go in. Navigate to Avenue Mall Garage.
Where do you want to go?
Avenue Mall Garage.
I found these. All right. Starting navigation.
That is the place where I want to go.
At 23:30.
Okay, so see, a pillar might be obstruction for the traffic light, same as this middle mirror with all this plastic around the lane assist camera. Now, let me just show you here. So you have display here, a bit darker than the main one. This one's more like gray, and you have the little bubble for the navigation, so that is nice. And it tells you even if the place is closed, if it's open, when you're gonna arrive, what time, and so on. What's great about this navigation is that it also has speeding cameras. Now, you might be traveling and you don't know the local roads, and you know, sometimes people in an EV forget they're speeding because they just drive so nicely and fast with the instant acceleration. So this car will warn you, so that's a nice feature. There are signs, as you can see here, speed limit control, but in case you forget, there's a little chim, and there we go. And in the navigation as well, tells you right exactly where the camera is and what's the speed limit. So when you are in the speed limit, you can see the colors have changed there. Okay, I don't have to drive 50, but 60 is the speed limit, just where the camera is. So the cameras do have tolerance here in Croatia, but I like to be dead on the spot when I'm passing in front of one. So 60 I'm safe because it triggers at 70. 70 is tolerance, so we have 10 kilometers up to 100 kilometers per hour and 10% past that. Now I need to sum up this car and what to say. If you're considering this car, it's a really great SUV. It's a really great car option driving. See, I just forgot. I was like trying to drive 70. I was like already at 80. Yeah, but this is a really overly nice, comfortable SUV, packed with technology in a French way. And there is one thing that I feel like I need to mention. In case you are planning on purchasing this car and keeping it on the long run, if you're leasing this car, it might not interest you. But as I was on the press conference and we're watching like a little video display cut of this car and what kind of battery cells they're using, I've noticed they're using pouch battery cells. Now you should Google this. There are cylinder cells, button cells. There are different type of battery cells. The ones you have in your remote are cylinder type. For example, Tesla uses those. You probably saw those. But French manufacturers and also Mercedes-Benz, for example, use pouch cells. Now, those are the ones you have in your laptops. But I've watched some explanation from a local garage that fixes or repairs batteries. And they've said the pouch batteries are prone to, when they swell, damaging the other cells if they're stacked next to each other. So that creates bigger problems on the long run. Now, with the cylinder cells, that's less likely to happen. So if you're buying this car, that's something I need to warn you. Also, I've mentioned this in the review, don't charge your battery to 100% if you're not planning to leave immediately. If you leave your battery at 100% of charge and you unplug the car, it's seriously degrading the battery. because the cells are in a state of high, what I call it, let's call it like a balloon. It's on a high pressure. It's almost ready to burst, but it's just on the edge. It's not blown that much to burst, but it's on the edge. And if you leave it on, that's where the battery cells are under a lot of stress and they're degrading because they have to release the energy, they're not releasing it. And then the chemicals inside get damaged. But if you release it, then that's not the problem. So you should charge your car to 90 or 80%, 95 tops if you're not planning to leave immediately and you want the range. So I'm just trying to give you tips from experience about long-lasting healthy battery. What are the good practices?
You have reached your destination. It is on your left. You have reached your destination. It is on your left.
Thank you. Now, overall, this is a great car, great SUV, drives really nice, and I really love it. Now you're gonna hear the pedestrian warning sound. This window controls are just like, you have to press it like gently to raise it fully up. So sometimes just you press it, doesn't work. You gotta develop a feeling for it. Now, one of the reasons why I wouldn't suggest a plug-in hybrid, it has a small battery, and if you charge it as intended, you will run through the cycles a lot faster. In, let's say, 150,000 kilometers, you might get a problem. With the EV, you have a larger battery, it has more cycles, and you're less likely to get into a problem with the battery. So you can do 200, 300,000 kilometers, and then potentially if you drive a lot and if you charge fast a lot, you might experience that kind of an issue with the battery, but otherwise you should be fine. This is not to discourage you in any way, this is just to inform you. And that is that. Pay attention to the headlights when I switch them off. They do a little dance if I'm not mistaken. And here you can see our power consumption has dropped. There was a short trip. Now my camera died on me. I had to run to get my charging cable, charge it up, and redo this part. You might notice the time here if you're a sharp eye, but this is the lowest consumption I could get, but only on a short drive. You can see that. If you like this video, give it a like. Please type in a comment if you have any questions. Feel free to ask. There you go. And do share this on Peugeot forums. I think this is probably the most detailed video about this car. Now I'm going to do a walk around for the end and show you the car in the garage. So it really looks stunning, especially the taillights. Just lock itself automatically, but if I unlock it once again, you can see the taillights dance, and you can see the people are just leaving here from the movies. There's a Cineplex, and if I lock it, you can see the, well, just sometimes switches off. That's it. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. Hope to see you in the next video. Bye.